Hi, I'm Ashley Nemeth. I want to thank you for your ongoing support of the CNIB. I was born legally blind due to a form of albinism, so I have been a client of the CNIB since I was a young child. I've been legally blind my whole life. I lost the remainder of my vision 3 years ago. The CNIB have been an integral part of giving me the skills to be a successful, independent person. Did you know that vision rehabilitation is not fully funded in Saskatchewan and that it's reliant on donations? Nearly 180,000 people in Saskatchewan are living with a vision-threatening eye disease. 14,300 people in Saskatchewan have vision loss serious enough to be considered blind or partially sighted. And over 25,000 people in Saskatchewan have self-identified as having some form of significant vision loss that has compromised their independence. The CNIB has been a part of my life since I was a young child. At that time, when I was growing up, my vision was about 2400. So like I said, I was legally blind from birth. So I could see things close up if it was large print. I could see a tree, but I couldn't see the branches or the leaves. I could only see that it was green on top and brown on the bottom. I had a hard time seeing people's facial features. I could see that they were maybe wearing a blue shirt, or maybe sometimes that they had black hair, but I couldn't see their facial features, things like their eye color, sometimes if they were smiling. Even if I was walking down the street, I couldn't always see that people were waving. This is how your support of the CNIB has impacted me. I was very lucky growing up to have had the CNIB support. They were able to come into my school and come into my home and show me how to do so many things that we all take for granted. Things like how to pick out my clothes or how to cook and clean as I grew older. They also helped me in my education to make it so that I was on the same playing field as my peers. In order to do that, I had to get things like large print textbooks and screen readers and magnifiers and paper with large black thick lines on it so that I could see them. They also had to teach my school how to make it so that I was on the level playing field and I had the same opportunities in class that all of my peers did. Now, having said that, I wasn't always a willing participant. I always accepted the things in class like the large print textbooks and the screen readers on a laptop and the magnifiers because I needed them to get through school. There was no denying that. But when the CNIB came in with a white cane and tried to teach me how to have independent travel skills as I got older and wanted to go on to university, I was a little hesitant, and same with Braille. I was definitely a stubborn student, to say the least. I didn't want to admit that I had vision loss, and that was really hard for me. So I would take out my cane when it was time for orientation mobility training with the CNIB, but after they left, it would go right back into my locker because I didn't want to be the kid that was different. I wanted to be like everybody else. And I lived my life growing up as if I was sighted. I had a twin brother who was fully sighted, so I did what he did. He played hockey, so I wanted to play hockey. And my parents never said no. They let me do those things, and I'm grateful for that today. Let's just say my NHL career ended very quickly because a puck is small and it moves very quickly, so I wasn't able to see it. And then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna play basketball. And I don't know why I didn't learn from hockey, but I thought, a ball is bigger than a puck. So I thought I would try out basketball. That ended very poorly with a broken wrist. So again, my NBA career was over way before it began. As I got older, my vision deteriorated to the point where now I only see light and very small amounts of light. I don't see enough light to even tell you where the windows are in a room. And I struggled for a long time with that. But as I got older, I realized that hiding my blindness wasn't getting me anywhere. It was hurting me more than it was hurting anybody. So I accepted my vision loss, and I accepted my blindness, and I've never looked back. After I lost the remainder of my vision, I enlisted the CNIB's help once again. And begrudgingly, I took out the white cane and I began to work really hard to get the skills for with my white cane to travel independently. And with those skills and mobility training, I traveled alone to Guide Dogs for the Blind in Portland, Oregon to get my very first guide dog. I couldn't see my life with a white cane. I needed more independence. I needed the freedom that I wanted. And in order to get that freedom for me, I went with a guide dog. And I received my first guide dog, Rick, on September 13th, 2014. We graduated. And it was the best day of my life. Since then, I've taken on so many challenges to break down the stigmas and misperceptions. I was also asked to be a spokesperson for the CNIB, and that has been an amazing experience. It has given me the opportunity to show the world what life can be like with blindness. It has also given me the ability to share my story and to help people who are struggling just like I was to feel better about their vision loss and to hopefully see that vision loss does not mean that your life is over. It is just beginning. So many people say with blindness you're missing out on so much in the world, but I like to think of it differently. We're not missing out. I'm experiencing it differently. And the more that we break down these misperceptions and stigmas around blindness and partial sight and what life can truly be with blindness, we will live in a much better world. And the kids growing up today with blindness will have more confidence than I ever could have imagined at their age. And that's what I want. So in order to break down these stigmas and misperceptions around blindness, I've had to live my life the way that I want to show people what your life can be like with blindness. So I've taken on many challenges over the last 3 years. Like I said, I'm a spokesperson for the CNIB. I also run a peer support group for the CNIB and do eye safety presentations. I have a successful blog, and I'm living my life, and that is the best way to break down those misperceptions and stigmas, is to live my life the way that I want to live it, no matter what those stigmas and misperceptions say I should be doing. And I would like to thank you today for your ongoing support of the CNIB and their services, because without the support of the donors and everybody else out there for the CNIB, I would not be the confident, strong, independent woman that I am today. I would not be able to be a mother of 3 and tackle snowboarding and golfing and running in a provincial election and doing all of the things that I have accomplished without the CNIB beside me, supporting me every step of the way. So thank you again.